turn it around. You can see two competitors from Malaysia, two from Vietnam, plus Thailand and Singapore. Enough to start proceedings for Bertrand of Malaysia. Entitled to be nervous. Competed at the Pacific Junior Championships in New Zealand a couple of years back. And he's just overcooked that one slightly. A bit of a splash there as he whipped through the rotations required there, the 2.5. A 3.1 difficulty. That's he's actually started off with his most difficult dive of Bertrand's opening effort. Judges looking for that elevation above the board, quite a wide knee spread in the tuck position. So consistent scores, at least, when they were finally tabulated, and a 27.9 there. Oh, he's so experienced now and so successful. A couple of gold medals in 2019 and a string of them across his long career. There's that calmness of execution, great elevation from LIANG of Malaysia, forward 2.5, and the contrast in marks here from the same dive from the previous competitor should be quite stark. He's so graceful, seemed to have so much time.
8, 7.5, 8, 7.5,
and a 59.8.
7.5, and 7.5. B.
And AVVIR is going for the inward 1.5, as did Huang, the previous competitor. So again, we've got something to compare it with immediately. He's only 17 years of age. Oh, he pulled that entry in very nicely. I think he's made a nice recovery there. Looked like it was going to over-rotate, and somehow he's ripped it through. That's great maturity for a teenager on the entry. This looked like it might have been overcooked, and then he's curled in underneath.
6.
A lot goes on under the water. And a 43.2, that should give him some confidence going forward.
6.5 and 6.
Bertrand now, Malaysia, started off with a 27.9, a reasonably low score there. This is a forward 2.5 now. Oh, that's better. A little bit of a splash off the heels on entry, but surely it's worth more than the 30. And he scored just under in that first round.
Judges score.
That's better elevation.
6.5, 7.5, 7, 6.5, 6.5,
and the second dive was 52, total of 79.
6.
Now LIANG is only a few points behind on after that first round. He's seen Chawanwat of Thailand struggle a little. He's the favourite. Oh, beautiful. I could watch this fellow dive all day. The reverse 1.5 with 1.5 twists. 2.6 the tariff on this one. He slipped his twisting dive in quite early.
8, 7.5, 8.5, 8, 7, and 8.
Great score, 62.40. Wish him well with this second dive. After a 43.2, he's going for a back 1.5, a degree of difficulty of 2.3. Nicely done, close to the perfect entry, but it just flipped over a tiny bit. So he'd be hoping for something higher than his previous dive of 43.2. His supporters likewise, wishing him the best.
6.5. 6.5.
Reaches for the water, pulls it in hard.
6.5.
And a 44.85, so fractionally better. Well done. Back to the top we go. A well-run diving competition doesn't take long, really. They just keep the dives coming. The athletes must be ready. The judges, although we had a delay right at the start after the first dive, they feel that responsibility to have a smoothly run competition so the athletes can time their preparation for each dive, each round. Back 1.5 now for BETRAND of Malaysia. Well, it was graceful, but the entry was just not at that perfect angle. He's had dives of 27.9 and then 52. So he's a little bit erratic through the first two. This third one might be somewhere in the middle. He looks terrific in the air, reaches for the water, and then just over-rotates fractionally.
5.5.
That's a 39.1.
4.
So as suggested, he's somewhere in the middle of his first two dives. Doesn't exactly inspire confidence, but it's LIANG who's leading our competition. That's how you do it, but he's got so much more experience than everyone else with his forward 3.5. Just soars off the board, doesn't he? Seems to have plenty of time. It wasn't perfect, let's acknowledge that, but it's a beautiful dive and the entry is lovely, and he gets good marks too. 66 for that one.
6.5 and 7.5.
But we move on to AVVIR, and the final dive in this third round, representing Singapore, of course. He's had 43.2, 44.85. Reverse 1.5. Oh gosh, it's just a little bit untidy at the end. He created so much time for himself with the great elevation he achieved. Almost had too much time to think about it. Up and just watch the leg form at the end. The ankle's just a little bit out of alignment there, and a 38.4.
5.
He's sitting third.
3.0.
BETRAND now. We're getting to the second half of the competition. 3 dives done, 3 to come. And here we go with a reverse 2.5. It's a blur, isn't it? Just off the 1 metre, 2.5 in the reverse. Tuck position, of course, as you saw. Scores have been reasonably consistent. Well, no, they haven't. I'll take that back. 28, 52, 39. So
Judges score 5.
That's a 46.5. LIANG just looks a picture of calm confidence.
205C 3.0.
Yes, is a back 2.5. Surprising really how many of these athletes have a bandaged or supported or strapped part of the body, or a bit of work there on the right ankle for LIANG. That's probably his biggest splash so far. Still looked elegant, graceful in the air. The timing was quite good, but he's had 59.8, 62.4 and a 66. Yes, just rolled the feet over a bit. That's a 57.
6. 6.5.
Good score, but it's his lowest so far.
6.5.
AVVIR now, Singapore.
2.6.
It's a forward 2.5. Gradually building the difficulty through the rounds here. It's got 2 tough dives to come after this one. And again, he's almost got too much time. He's very efficient in the air. But as a consequence, he's just got through it a little too quickly. Over the feet go, but it's a good dive.
7.5.
And some good scores in there too, 7s to 7.5, so I'm being a little too critical. Obviously, 57.20, that's his best dive.
2.2.
5th round of 6. Here we go with Bertrand of Malaysia. Previous dive was a 46.5, his second best. He had a 52 in the second round. Nicely done. That did look good. Forward 1.5 with a twist, so he's actually got another twisting dive for his final effort.
Judges score 6.5. 7. 7. 7. 7.
It's a 46.20.
And 7. 305C. 3.0.
It just exudes this kind of tranquil air that's suggesting confidence all the time. LIANG, our leader. Oh, the height. And he's so powerful. Off the end of the board. You could make a small criticism of the entry angle, but reaches for the water. And he adjusts pretty well under the water. There's a lot of work goes on in a short amount of time there. And a 64.5. It must all be about the process in these elite sports. You can't think about the outcome, but there's hard to keep out of the front of your mind the possibility that AVVIR THAM could force his way into the top 3 in this competition. And what a result that would be. Forward 2.5 with 1 twist. Tough dive, his most difficult. He does it well. This has got a 3.2 degree of difficulty. Just watch for his position in the field after this score is given. Is he sitting 2nd or 3rd?
Judges score 6.5. 7.5. 7. 6.
That's a 64, so he is sitting 2nd, his current rank.
6.5. BETRAND RHODICT 5.333 2.6.
Back to the top of the order we go. These are the final dives in the men's 1 metre springboard at the Aquatic Sports Palace in Hanoi. Bertrand of Malaysia. Reverse 1.5, 1.5 twists. Suggestion of leg separation there in the middle of the dive. The twisting element does make it hard to keep those legs and ankles locked together.
Judges score 7. 7. 7.
Hold that entry in
7,
nicely though.
7.
And a 54.6.
6.5.
Well, that's his best dive. Question not if, but by how many. This is LIANG's most difficult dive. It's an inward 2.5. He's come here. Sublime form. Somehow, even when he doesn't enter the water at quite the right angle, he's able to create the impression of a controlled entry, and that is a solid dive, and it should be more than enough.
6.5. 7.5, 7, 6, 7, 6, and 6.5.
68. That's it.
OOITZE.
This is an inward 2.5.
3.1.
Friends, family, supporters everywhere got fingers and toes crossed for him. Silver medal beckons. Has to get it right. Oh, he's over-rotated it and he pops up and he's cross with himself. What's that meant? Oh, the occasion is a big one and he just hasn't delivered his best when it counted most, I think. But
Judges score.
leave it with the judges.
4.5, 4.5, 4, 4,
286.4 and he still finished second.
3.5.